If you've seen this show, or any of these shows, you've witnessed a groundbreaking development in theater history. A development that began with just $7. But although you've seen the effects of this development, you've probably never heard the incredible story of how it started. That's what we're talking about today. Hey theater fans, I'm Melissa, a theater maker and fan, and I make content for other theater makers and fans. So if you want to join our awesome fan family, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, on with the show. The year is 1976. On the heels of the Watergate scandal, economic recession, and the Vietnam War, America is in a period of political upheaval and profound change. In popular culture, All in the Family and Happy Days were the top-rated shows on television. The Cher doll and Stretch Armstrong were some of the hottest-selling toys, and Apple Computer Company has just been formed by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. On Broadway, things were changing as well. The golden age of musicals had come and gone, beginning with Oklahoma in 1943 and ending, many argue, with Fiddler on the Roof in 1964. The 60s ushered in experimentation and rock musicals like Hair, and the 70s widened the offerings further, experimenting with even more musical and storytelling styles. Shows like Company, Jesus Christ Superstar, Grease, Pippin, The Rocky Horror Show, The Wiz, Chicago, and the groundbreaking A Chorus Line all opened on Broadway in the early and mid-1970s. And that brings us to 1976, when a new Broadway musical was being developed. A little show called Annie. A show that, set against the backdrop of Depression-era New York City, resounded with hope. A hope that 1976 America needed again. Annie would go on to be nominated for 10 Tony Awards, winning 7, including Best Musical, Best Book of a Musical, and Best Original Score. The original Broadway production would play for nearly 6 years and 2,377 performances. It would be revived on Broadway twice more and boasts numerous touring productions all over the world. It's been adapted several times for both screen and television. It's inspired 2 sequel musicals, Annie 2, Miss Hannigan's Revenge, and Annie Warbucks. It's, most likely, been performed numerous times by every single youth theater across the nation, and the title role being coveted and practiced by every young actress ever.
You're always a day away.
But now I'm getting ahead of myself, because it's only 1976, the year before the show would premiere on Broadway, and the musical hasn't become a global sensation yet. It hasn't even become a fully realized show yet. It's in development at the Goodspeed Opera House, a regional theater in Connecticut. Enter our leading man, Bill Berloni.
Hi, I'm Bill Berloni.
He is a 20-year-old intern at Goodspeed with hopes of becoming an actor. He is called in and given a rather odd task to complete.
I remember being called into his office.
With an intriguing reward, an equity card, and a chance to perform professionally in one of the theater's plays.
20 years old, here I am, I'm thinking, God, this guy is so smart. He recognizes my acting ability by the way I've been moving scenery, and I said, yes, that would be great.
But only if he could successfully find and train a dog to play Sandy in Annie.
They called professional animal trainers in New York, and they couldn't afford them. So at that point, the producer was stuck, and he needed basically a sucker.
In a show bursting with hope, Sandy becomes Annie's friend and source of comfort when she is first thrust out into the world on her own.
And everything's gonna be fine, boy. For the both of us.
Berloni excitedly, and maybe a little naively, jumped at this opportunity.
And of course, my response was, of course.
While he had never trained a dog for the stage before, he was no stranger to animals. He was raised as an only child on a farm in Connecticut, and he said, "My companions were my dog, a cat, and a rabbit. I wasn't lonely because my animals interacted with me. They were my friends, not my pets." So upon receiving this assignment, he rushed down to an animal shelter, where he found a scared-looking dog that seemed to fit the bill for Sandy perfectly. The cost to adopt him? $7. But unfortunately, Bill only had 2. He promised to return to get him when he was warned to come early because the dog was set to be put down the very next day. He rushed home to borrow money from his roommate and returned the next day before they opened. He bought the dog, and both of their lives were forever changed. And Broadway was on the brink of a major shift. Up through this time, animals in live theater had only really been used as props. And in movies and TV, animal performances can be stitched together using different takes, different camera angles, and even different animals. To perform in a featured role on stage, an animal actor would have to be trained to ignore the distraction of the audience and respond to the same cues the same way, night after night after night, just like their human counterparts. It had never been done before, but that was Berloni's task. And that is what he did. Through a combination of persistence, patience, and trial and error, he developed his revolutionary humane training techniques.
Good job.
Sometimes we don't want the audience to recognize that we're giving them a cue. So for example, petting their eyes means stay. So if an actor does that on stage, they can walk away and, why aren't you following me? I mean, they could be saying things like, you know, come on, let's go. And the dog's not going to move because that hand signal.
That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow.
Nodding our head. Bodhi. What? What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Bruiser, where is Elle? She's trapped in the Old Valley Mill? Oh, whoops. Sorry. The Old Valley Mall!
He says his philosophy centers around positive reinforcement, stating, I look at it from the animal's perspective and figure out ways that they might want to do something 8 times a week in front of a live audience. I just try to find ways to make it fun.
The prevailing technique of animal training back in the 70s was being forceful with them. If they didn't do it, there was a correction. And we always trained with positive reinforcement because I knew in a live theater piece, if you let the dog go and it doesn't want to go, there's nothing you can do.
He thinks his style of training really grew out of the way he learned to relate to animals as a child, saying, instead of forcing animals to do my will, we played together. So Berloni aptly named his rescue dog Sandy. And when Annie opened on Broadway in 1977, the ex-shelter dog became a bona fide star, not missing a single show over the nearly 6-year run. Sandy became the longest-running dog on Broadway. Sandy kickstarted Berloni's career-long commitment to saving and training rescue animals.
What's special about these guys is that they're all rescues.
No.
Okay, I only use rescue animals.
He has gone on to train countless animals in countless shows across stage, film, and television. Of course, he owns the obvious suspects, dogs who play Toto, Sandy, and Bruiser from Legally Blonde. But he's trained animals for numerous other shows as well.
You have Trixie, right, and she's in Bullets over Broadway, the new Woody Allen movie.
That's a huge hit.
Oh, yes.
Yes, directed by Susan Stroman. Roxy is appearing with Audra McDonald in Lady Day, and Romeo is in Threepenny Opera at the Atlantic Theater Company.
As of 2017, he owned a whopping 31 dogs, and he says, once we rescue them, we give them a forever home on our 90-acre farm in Connecticut. All of the dogs live in the house, which sounds crazy. Our home is specially designed and there are no cages.
The message is, you know, anybody could have walked in and adopted these 3 dogs before I did.
Right.
They're great animals in animal shelters.
And in addition to dogs, he works with other domesticated animals: cats, birds, snakes, reptiles, horses, sheep, and rats. As well as training animals, Berloni also believes in the importance of guiding actors to properly interact with their animal counterparts. It's a team effort between the two.
I've been trying every day to have a little time with Bodhi, who plays Nana.
In addition to the on-stage work, it's crucial that actor and animal form a bond off-stage as well.
Like me, like I.
Like me.
I've never trained a dog ever before, so this is actually a really cool experience.
Over Berloni's 40-plus year career, he's authored books, starred in a TV series,
Welcome to the wonderful world of Bill Berloni.
aided in charity events, won many awards, including the 2011 Tony Honor for Excellence in the Theater, served as behavior consultant to the Humane Society of New York, and you can see more about all that he does on theatricalanimals.com. Berloni has said, since 1977, I've been training animals to be characters. I think the profession of turning dogs into actors is one I created.
Animals are really in the moment. You cannot disconnect from them. When I studied acting when I came to New York, I studied with Stella Adler, and that method of acting was being real on stage, really being in the moment. Little did I know that that would be the specialty of what I do.
When you look, tell me, what do you see? Just a dog in a park.
I know Woods, and this is Bruiser Woods.
Sandy, wait! Stop! Come here, Sandy. Oh, good Sandy. Good old Sandy.
And that is how the billion-dollar-a-year behemoth Broadway industry was changed with just $7. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our other theater fun facts and our original plays and musicals. Subscribe to see more videos like this and to join our theater fan family.